Hey, Cancer. Mel, intuitive coach here. Excited to bring in your November 2025 monthly reading. All right, let's open up your energy field, Cancer, and take a look at what the month ahead has in store for you. Now, your fifth house of creativity, joy, and self-expression is highlighted this month. So you are being guided to reconnect to your inner spark, right? The part of you that wants to create, play, and express joy without fear of judgment. And Scorpio energy, your fellow water sign, is here to bring emotional depth to your fifth house. And what does that mean? It means that you are being guided to lead with your heart. So transformation is taking place, especially through creativity and love. Now, some of you may even be returning to a passion project or a hobby that ignites your soul. You do have adventure coming through as one of your key themes. So some of you may even spark up your love of travel. This could also be exploring through books. I'm getting some of you may love to read, and this could be a really wonderful time to pick up that book that you've been wanting to read. And because the fifth house also rules children and the inner child, you actually have inner child as your key theme, one of them for the month. And this is about you releasing old wounds tied to self-expression or even validation, which is quite powerful. And I feel for many of you, you may even work with children. Perhaps you are a parent or a grandparent, and this is a great month to allow yourself to play. Allow yourself to express, to create, to write, to dance, whatever it is that sparks that beautiful soul of yours. Now, on the relationship front, which we are going to dive into all of these categories more in depth, but relationship-wise, this is the time of deeper emotional or sensual bonds to form. So existing relationships can transform through truth, through vulnerability, and even play or adventure, stepping out of a comfort zone. Because you have inner child here and authenticity connected to this, some of you are being guided to share your authentic self with the world, even if it feels raw, even if it feels new. Now, this is the child within. It's laughter, it's happiness, fun, joy, magic, innocence, all connected to your fifth house. So this is a beautiful month to allow that inner child to let you know what does little him or her need at this time. And nurture. Some of you have been reparenting yourselves, and I see that you're going to have some fun this month, even though there are some heavier energies that are playing out through the month of November. I feel for you, you have been practicing making this energy a priority, making your inner child, a priority, which is powerful. Now you can see that this little girl is holding a bunch of balloons, and the color of the balloons are yellow, which is the main energy here. We see red and we see green with maybe a purple or pink balloon in the background. But the energy of yellow is loud, which connects to that solar plexus chakra. This could be energies around your confidence. Perhaps confidence has been stripped away due to an experience that you've gone through in the past. And I see that this is a month where you are being asked to show up, right? If you want to take that dance class, sign up. Drive yourself to that dance class or have someone drive you and show up unapologetically yourself, even if you have two left feet, right? This is about you saying yes to the things that scare you, but the things that you've always wanted to do. And I also see here that you don't need to be validated from external energies, especially tied to parental or hierarchy of some sort. This is about you saying, I am going to have fun with my life. I am going to choose joy and happiness, and I'm going to choose to lead with my heart instead of fear. And that's a big energy that is playing out for you this month. Now we have adventure. Adventure could be travel for some of you. You may even be contemplating some new exciting ventures ahead, especially in the line of creativity or, expressing yourself in a new way. Maybe this is within your relationships or within your creative projects or endeavors. You are being asked to take a look at what does joy look like for you now, and what fears are keeping you from fully living the life that you are meant to live. This is about you stepping out of a comfort zone here. It's about releasing the judgments, releasing here fears that may be keeping you tethered to old patterns or old behaviors. You are ready to spread your wings here. This is a spiritual quest. It is a new opportunity ahead for you, Cancer. World travel for some of you, or even new excursions, joining life in a new way, being an active participant in your own life instead of fear telling you can't move forward, or you shouldn't do that, or you should act or behave in a certain way. This is about you stripping back all of those layers that have held you back from truly showing up as your authentic self. Next, we have soul purpose. Now, soul purpose is kicking in here because there is a stirring up within you. That fifth house, when you think of the number 5 in numerology, 5 is all about change. 5 can bring in travel as well as some uncertainty, but you are being guided to trust. You're being guided to trust in the calling. You're being guided to trust in your body's wisdom here, as well as your intuitive hits and awareness that is coming through. Because Cancer, you are one of the most intuitive signs, and you have these feelings, these emotional feelings here that are stirring something deep within you. And you are being divinely guided here. And many of you have been searching. You've been searching here for purpose. But purpose isn't something outside of us. And that's why I really want you to ask the question, what does joy look like for you now? Right? What fears are keeping you from fully living it, from fully keeping you, apart from that joy, because that is part of your purpose. Whatever brings you joy, whatever allows you to feel truly aligned with your authentic vision, your authentic self, that is connected to your purpose. Bottom of the deck, we have memories. Now, memories could be unlocked. For some of you, these are ancestral. You may have been breaking out of ancestral patterns or conditioning. I'm also seeing that you have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share. Remember what I said about being seen, sharing part of yourself with the world, even if it feels raw. Some of you may be doing this through writing a memoir, writing about your life story, writing about, what had happened to you. And it could even be starting a YouTube channel or putting yourself out there in social media. Perhaps you could be talking to a therapist or a coach, and there may be some inner child wounding that is coming up. So some of you are taking a walk down memory lane, but for a lot of you, I feel like this falls back into returning to that passion project or a hobby or something that you once enjoyed, but you stopped doing it for whatever reason. Maybe you love to go rollerblading or ice skating, and you may have told yourself, I can't do that now. I'm going to break a hip, right? I'm more fragile, or I don't have the energy, or I'm not as strong, or whatever stories we tell ourselves. I feel like you are saying, well, why not? What have I got to lose? Why can't I move forward here? And of course, I understand that there are certain ailments, certain things that can keep us from doing the things that we love at times, but you have a wide range of of enjoyable activities that you could participate in is what Spirit is bringing in. And some of you may be wanting to go back to a time in your life where things felt a bit simpler, where things felt more loving. I'm also getting November is an important date. For some of you, you may have a loved one that had crossed over, or maybe a birthday or an anniversary in the month of November. It could hold some sort of significance here for you. Now, this is also about reminiscing. You may even have an old friend or an old contact, an old coworker, someone that you haven't spoken to for quite some time could re-enter your life, and you could laugh about some memories. Maybe this is a long lost sister or relative or someone that you haven't spoken to. It could even be, as I mentioned, a project or a book that you have put on the back burner you've been wanting to read. Maybe this is a show that you've been wanting to catch up on because it brings you pleasure, it brings you joy. Whatever this is here for you, I feel like the memories is activating something deep. It's that Scorpio energy also that is deepening some feelings within you, Cancer. So let's dive into the tarot. Your first card out is the Chariot, which is your major arcana. When the Chariot shows up, this is about you finding your focus. It is about you moving towards, your best life possible. It doesn't mean that you're never going to approach another hiccup in your life, or you're never going to have a struggle or a challenge, but it means that you're feeling back on track. It feels like you're getting back on track with your health, with your joy, with your relationships. If you have felt a bit stuck, perhaps in your career or financially, you're being asked to think outside the box, to open yourself up to something new, something exciting here, because the adventure card, he has his arms wide open. And the fact that she's coming out of the dark woods and she's moving into more of this clearing that feels a lot brighter tells me that you may be coming out of a period of your life that has been difficult. You're ready for change because this is a turning point here for you. And when the Chariot shows up, this is about your goals and your emotional drive that is backing up those goals. You're getting back in the driver's seat of your own life. You are the CEO of your own life here, and you're not going to let anyone or anything sit in the driver's seat and make those choices for you. And perhaps in the past, that's what's happened. Society has imprinted you, or what your mother or father had said has left, a belief system within, or societal standards. I'm getting Hierophant energy here. I'm just looking to see. We don't have the Hierophant out here, but the Hierophant can be our teachings, what we pay homage to, our traditions, our commitments. And I see for many of you, you are listening to your own intuitive wisdom here, and you're getting back on track with some goals or some passion projects or your creative ventures, and it feels really good. And this is another travel card. So some of you may even be real estate agents, or you may be in the travel industry. Perhaps you are purchasing or buying a home. There could be relocating, visiting family here. So there's a turning point when it comes to more than one area of your life this month. And is someone getting a pet or someone getting an animal here? I'm getting a new pet or an animal joining the mix, or perhaps November could be when a pet or an animal has crossed into the afterworld. And I feel like you may be really connecting with the spirit of this animal. All right, Cancer, we have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands can be a bit of a competitive energy. It can be other people involved. It can be adversity, drama. It can be unnecessary conflict, or even lack of direction here when competition gets in the way. And everybody has views, everybody has opinions, but when disrespect and toxicity become the centerfold of the mix, it's not fun to be in. We can agree to disagree. We don't have to We don't have to fall into someone else's belief system, but we can honor and respect that they have their own way of thinking and we have our own way. It doesn't have to get nasty. It doesn't have to, be eye for an eye. And that's what I see you have learned, and some of you have learned the hard way. And when this Five of Wands shows up, some of you may even be rising above the competition here, especially if you are going in for an interview or if you are connecting to difficult people in your life. It just feels like you are not succumbing to someone else's hot mess. And I know that sounds, I don't know how that sounds, but it feels like in the past, it's been messy, it's been sticky, and someone has some healing and some learning, as we all do. So nobody's pointing fingers here, but it feels like you're not letting someone's energy drag you down. That's what I'm getting here for you. You're rising above the competition. Why? Because this is your month to really express who you are unapologetically, right? This is about you not falling back into the default mode of reacting or responding maybe the way that you did in the past, but I see that things are moving forward in a new light. You have the Seven of Pentacles. It's time, right? It's time. There's new growth here. And here's that purple, the purple that wanted to creep out on the inner child. And, I've never actually noticed the purple balloon that's hiding. And I'm just going to put it up here. You can barely see it, but it's right there behind this yellow balloon. And you have the purple flower. Purple is connected to that third eye. It's about your vision. It's about your intuition here. And I see that the time is ripe to really step into this next chapter of your life. And when the Seven of Pentacles shows up, this is about evaluating, really taking a look at your life. And if there are certain aspects of your life, Cancer, that are reflecting back to you and you don't love it, this is the time where you are asking, what does joy look like for me now? And what is holding me back from leaning or trusting in divine detours that can allow me to fully live this adventurous life that I want for myself. And it doesn't mean that you have to be out there traveling and, seeing the world, although for some of you, that is what this is about. But for others of you, this is about you stepping outside of your comfort zone. And like I said, maybe joining that class. Maybe it's trying a new food. It could be dressing in colors that you normally don't wear. It doesn't have to be this huge change, but it can be the subtle, small shifts that increase your confidence daily. And that's what the Seven of Pentacles is all about, is you evaluating what's working and what's not, and what changes and who do I need to become to fully live and lead this life, to fully be able to sit in the driver's seat, be the CEO, create this life that I feel like I am responding and reacting in ways that are within my own control here. Now, you have the Page of Wands. This really ties into that fifth house energy. The Page of Wands is creative, is expressive. I mean, literally it says self-expression here. So very colorful vibe. I challenge you to wear the earrings, right? Wear the earrings, wear the clothing, and wear what you want. Do your hair in whatever way that you want. If you want to get that tattoo, if you want to get the henna art, if you want to show up on YouTube or a social media platform, singing or dancing or whatever this may be for you, express yourself. You have a voice. You have a presence on this earthly plane, and the world is uplifted by your energy. That's what I'm hearing. Like, you hold this presence that puts a smile on people's faces. You have gifts that help people open their hearts. Cancer, this is a beautiful energy that's coming through. And this is about you staying curious, staying the student of life, no matter how old you become, no matter what fears are showing up, always be that student. We are constantly oscillating between student and teacher, but I always feel like even when we get to that teacher level, there's still stuff to learn. We don't know everything. We're never done learning. There's always, mastery and growth and a next level that is being unlocked. And that's what I see here for you. You're expressing yourself through maybe a new project, a new course of study. This could be a new career. This is about you saying, all right, I'm ready to spice it up, right? And I'm hearing this song. I think it's the Spice Girls. I forget what the name of it is, but I'm just hearing their voice in the background here. But maybe it's called like Spice It Up. But it's something around, adding a splash of color to your life. If your life has been a bit black and white lately, or if you haven't felt like you've been having fun, if things have become very boring or very stagnant, November is definitely the month to add some flavor. Just like when you are baking, right? When you're baking, you want to make sure that you add the cinnamon, you add the coconut sugar, you add what you need to sweeten it up and to use the spices, use the flavors that are available, because otherwise it's going to be bland and you're not going to enjoy it as much. So you have resources here. Now you have the King of Wands. So what a beautiful dichotomy here of the student and the teacher. This is about you living and leading from a place of truth, from a place of integrity here. And it's interesting because by late November, as Sagittarius begins, the focus moves into your 6th house of health and service. So many of you are really tuning into your skill sets, your gifts, and being of service to others. And it wouldn't surprise me if you are helping people feel better about their lives, right? You may be grounding your newfound inspiration into daily routines, into purpose here with the King of Wands. He is the adventurer. He is the entrepreneur. He is the businessman. He's the one who's active and passionate and goal-oriented and resourceful and expressive. And this is about you taking something and going all the way with it. Taking this page of wands, this idea, and bringing it home, whatever that may mean for you. Maybe it's finishing that book that you've been, reading for the last 10 months. Maybe it is you saying, okay, I am going to push send on this email or this text message. Maybe I'm going to reach out, or maybe it's finally time to cut my hair, or whatever it may be for you. It is about you going all the way with it. And your final card is Judgment, liberation. It's time to consider your next move and where you wish to be. Because in the past, there was a strong energy of fear or a feeling of not being able to let something go, something that felt quite heavy, maybe self-judgment, forgiveness, criticism. But this is redemption. This is self-awareness. This is purpose, right? And this liberation here, there's something setting you free, right? You've gone through the trials and tribulations. You don't have to go back to that hardship anymore. Even though we have memories here, something that heavily pained you, you're able to see from a new perspective, perhaps a more spiritual advantage point here. And I see with Judgment coming through, this is a second chance for you to live and lead from that heart space, to invite more joy, creativity, passion, love into your life. Beautiful energy here. So let's look at health and wellness. Now, because you have the Chariot showing up here, the Chariot energy can be connected to genetics. You may have had a similar symptom, or there could be concerns or worries about an issue, a health issue or concern that maybe a parent had or a sister had. Maybe you have something that has kind of played out within the family dynamic. This also connects to the divine feminine or motherhood. This is your energy. It can be the womb. It can be the breast. It can be the mouth even. This may be connections to mother, all right, mother and child. And also because this is water, it suggests that there may even be problems at times with edema, hydration, like getting enough water. This can also connect to incontinence, food poisoning, toxins, food allergies, things of that nature. And I'm seeing watermelon. So watermelon also holds a lot of water. Now, some of you may be eating more watermelon. I'm not sure if it's growing or if it's, still in the stores at this time, but I see watermelon for some of you. And I'm also getting figs, watermelon and figs. I mean, it's interesting because both of those fruits connect to that cotton candy pink type of energy. So pink is playfulness as well. Pink is that love, that expansion. So some of you may benefit from eating fruits or vegetables that are pink. Now, the Chariot also talks about toxins. So being mindful of environmental toxicity. This could be through like electric lines. It could be through what's going on in the air, like airborne. Some of you may have had issues with allergies. I'm getting pet dander as well, or even mold. I'm also getting travel, which has come up here. So this could be making sure that you are using your due diligence if you are going to another country, and maybe the drinking water or the foods, things of that nature, so you don't get any sort of food poisoning. All right. And because we have the Judgment here, I just mentioned pollutants, and the Judgment is a strong one for like nuclear power plants. I'm also getting like electromagnetic frequencies. If you have been spending a lot of time on your phone or on your computer, your laptop, this could be a really great month to unplug. Right? To unplug, leave your phone at home, maybe set some good, healthier boundaries here, because even though we don't always see the pollutants, it doesn't mean that it's not creating havoc in our bodies. And some of you may even be switching to more organic foods if you are able to, because the Judgment is more of that external toxicity here. So trying to do what you can that's within your control. All right, so let's look at career, finances, money, and abundance. Look at the wings. We have the wings showing up a few different times in your reading. First, we have the Adventurer, and he is spreading his arms. It looks like, wings. And then we have Judgment, which also has the wings. And it says here, rising above money issues. That is ascension energy. So rising above money issues, you could have a business that starts to take off this month. This is about profiting. And it's more than just money, though. It's spiritual work. And for many of you, this is connected to your purpose. Your work, your career, your creative ideas, your hobbies, that income source that you are starting to build on the side, that's all connected to your purpose. If it brings you joy, if it brings you a feeling of being of service, I feel like it is part of your purpose here, which is one of your key themes. So this is spiritual work that you certainly could get paid to do. Many of you may be guides, teachers, mentors, healers. You may be authors, creators, whatever it is that you do, even if it's not in a spiritual setting, you're using your spiritual tools to help you activate abundance in your life. Next, you have here the Butterfly. There may be some big changes coming through, especially with that Chariot energy, as things start to move forward again after a period of conflict. There may have been a pause, there may have been a shutdown, there may have been a delay. Things are starting to move forward. And look at this. It says, making work fun, right? Movement here. Things are starting to move. You could also be in the creative art field. There may have been a temporary situation that you have endured, but I do feel like there's more of that spark of inspiration, especially with that Page of Wands and that King of Wands showing up. So something short term here for you. And lastly, we have the Candle. This is about ambition, taking action towards your dreams. This could be a side hustle or momentum building in order for you to manifest money. Some of you are getting recognized. So remember what we mentioned earlier about being seen, sharing your authentic self with the world. There is a message here of you not dimming your light to fit in, right? You are meant to stand out. You have gifts gifts. I mentioned that your energy ripples out where you put smiles on people's faces. You help people feel better about themselves. That's part of your purpose. It's part of your mission. Even if you feel like you're not getting paid for it quite yet, or it's something that you want to lean into at some point, it feels like you are taking action steps this month to get closer to a dream that you have. This is about visibility, high rank, and management. So there certainly could be a new offer coming in with that Page of Wands. This could be a message coming in around your career that allows you to feel more creative, allows you to open yourself up and feel more expansive. It puts you in a role where you are being seen, you are being recognized. And maybe some of you, this is managerial, all right? Managerial, where there is room for growth, room for you to learn, to increase, and open that flow of abundance up wider. Beautiful. All right. So when it comes to relationships, partnerships, family, a lot of you are focused right now on your abundance. All right. This is about positive mindset here. You may be focused more on career than you are love, but I see that there's a lot of gratitude and a lot of blessings that are unfolding here for you. And many of you are maybe going into business with family, or you're opening up the threshold of meeting new people, even through your work. You could be meeting some very inspiring people that could become lifelong friends or partners. And there could even be someone entering your world that is in the same field or the same industry, and this could turn into something romantic is what I'm sensing here. You may not work with them in the same department, but it could be in the same field of work as you. Now, you are the phoenix showing up here, Cancer. This is a new phase. This is about rekindling. So some of you are rekindling a relationship that you're currently in. It could be a romantic. It could be a family member. It could even be with a child, where it feels like there's a spark here of momentum, where you're letting someone truly be themselves, or you're allowing someone to show up messy is what I'm getting here for you. So perhaps you've dealt with a family member who's been going through some difficulties, but instead of judging, instead of criticizing, you're allowing them to be who they need to be, and you are showing up as that support system instead of trying to fix it. Instead of trying to change it in some way, you're moving forward here and allowing them to be who they need to be in this moment. And it feels like there is a reciprocal exchange occurring. This is about you changing your mind. Some of you have changed your mind when it comes to love, when it comes to a special person or a specific person in your life. And it feels like you've done a lot of learning. You've done a lot of growing. And lastly, we have the runner. So remember earlier, we talked about that romantic intensity stirring up. This is about fear of intimacy. So either you or someone that you have dealt with at some point or another in your life has ran away from a connection because it has been too deep. And this is about letting go. Maybe someone let go of the relationship because it scared them, because it was something that, had them opening up to some of their own shadows, and maybe they weren't ready for that. And I see that there is a huge healing taking place around this runner. You've heard of the runner-chaser dynamic. It feels like the runner in this situation, whether it's you or someone else, it feels like there's a lot of forgiveness, a lot of forward movement here when it comes to this dynamic. And it says here, wild you. Do you see the theme that is playing out throughout your reading, Cancer? You are feeling wild. You're feeling brave. It says, are you wanting to express yourself? Hello, fifth house. Throw down your hair, move your body. There is within us all an inner wise and feminine and masculine leader waiting to unleash. How did you express yourself as a child? Connect back to your inner wise, intuitive self. And how would it feel to express yourself? What do you do that feels free and soulful? Can you do this today? Your mantra, it is safe to express myself. Yes, it is. I love that this is your your message from your higher self, especially with that fifth house being activated, because it's all about expression. Not only did you get that with the Page of Wands, with those same words, self-expression, you got it here and it's connected to that house. And then lastly, your archetype, you have the one. So let me find this in the guidebook. One moment. All right, Cancer. The one is all about non-duality, one love, unus mundus. Our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The one is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across all the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all consciousness and are neither small nor large within that field. We are neither important nor unimportant. All duality fades away and we are left with what is, the precious knowing that life is a gift, and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. When this is showing up as the light, it serves, it loves, it accepts, it resonates. When it's showing up as the dark, it ignores, it omits, it excludes. It is said that Om is the primordial sound of the universe and that all other mantras are born from it. Simply imagining this possibility will activate the one. The unus mundus is a circle representing the unity of existence. Is it possible that the beginning and the end of all things is love? If you want to go deeper in this energy, check out James Turrell's The Color Inside or the poem Self-Portrait by David White. That is what I have for you, Cancer. If you enjoyed the reading, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video.